I'd like to welcome everyone to the March 9th, 2023 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. Would you please rise and join me in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. I'm Jeff Benton, President of the Board this year. To my left is our Vice President, Commissioner Gary Merrill, and our dedicated team, at least, our Deputy Administrator, Eric Hostetler's here, Deputy Administrator Don Houston and Tracy Davies, our County Administrator, and our clerks today, Jennifer Walraven and Sarah DeNova. So we can begin.
Resolution number 23-189, in the matter of approving electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held March 2nd, 2023.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 23-189. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton.
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis is absent today.
Lewis is absent.
We have no public comment this morning. Resolution number 23-190, in the matter of referring purchase orders, then and now certificates and payments of warrants and batch number CMA PR 0308.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 23-190. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Resolution number 23-191, in the matter of granting annexation petition from agent for the petitioner, Michael R. Shade, attorney at law, requesting annexation of 13.953 of land in Delaware Township to the city of Delaware.
So moved.
Second, discussion. Mr. Shade, any comments?
I would just indicate to you that
There, come to the microphone if you want to.
this morning before you arrived, there were a couple property owners, and they thought they were being annexed, and they also had some concerns about traffic and drainage. And I said, those are all proper concerns, and they will be dealt with once the annexation is accepted by the city of Delaware. And at present, that is the responsibility of Delaware Township. So those are all out in the township. They were not property owners in the city of Delaware. So that's, I just want to bring that to your attention.
Okay. Any further discussion? Vote, please.
Vote on motion 23-191. Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Resolution number 23-192, in the matter of approving a public safety training agreement between the City of Columbus Department of Public Safety, the Delaware County Board of Commissioners, and the Delaware County Sheriff's Office for sending Delaware County Sheriff's Office cadets to the Columbus Police Department Academy.
So moved.
Second, discussion. I don't see anybody. Dean's usually here. I know this is something that is a real challenge, I know, for the Sheriff's Office, is getting cadets, first of all, signed up, second of all, through the training, the various opportunity training academies that offer training. And this is an agreement to, I think, provide 6. I know they're still working on filling this class, and also the next resolution, sending 5 cadets to Westerville. So, again, this is part of the process, and it's been a challenge for the Sheriff's Department to get spots at these training academies, which are necessary. So, any other comments?
I think you said well.
Okay, vote please.
Vote on motion 23-192. Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Resolution number 23-193, in the matter of approving a public safety training agreement between the City of Westerville Division of Police, the Delaware County Board of Commissioners, and the Delaware County Sheriff's Office for sending Delaware County Sheriff's Office cadets to the Westerville Police Department Academy.
So moved.
Second, discussion. It's kind of consistent with the previous resolution. This is another opportunity with another academy that Westerville has started to send some sheriffs, Delaware County Sheriff cadets to. So, any other discussion? Vote, please.
Vote on motion 23-193. Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Resolution number 23-194, in the matter of approving an advance of funds for juvenile court.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning, Karen Watkins, Fiscal Coordinator for the Juvenile Probate Court. This project is a cost reimbursable project, so in order to go ahead and request the money, I have to spend the money first, but I don't have any money to spend, so I'm asking for an advance of $5,000. There is no concern about being able to repay that at year's end.
Okay.
Questions?
Yeah. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 23-194. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Karen.
Resolution number 23-195, in the matter of authorizing the purchase of storage systems and accessories for the Bixby campus project.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning, John Melvin, Director of Facilities. This is part of our FF&E package, fixtures, furnitures, and equipment for the Bixby project. This is the larger warehouse-type shelvings units and high-capacity file storage units. Patterson Pope was on state contract and also Sourcewell. This is for areas like the sheriff's property storage area, the records storage, some miscellaneous, larger storage units out there for both the current existing Bixby building and the new sheriff administration office.
Okay. You know what we're going to ask.
Yeah, it's the same question we're gonna ask you every time you step up
We're
here.
still currently on schedule. They're catching back up in the sheriff administration building. Drywall's going up. They're getting two-sided. They're passing inspections. Mechanicals are going up. The current existing building, the Bixby building, in Area A, carpet's down. They're getting ready to drop ceiling tile. They're running some temporary power to get the lights on. We're still on schedule. The existing building should be completed end of June into the 1st of July, and the Sheriff's Administration building July into August. We still have not got the electrical switchgear delivered at confirmed delivery dates. That's been jumping back and forth a little bit. And some Gilbane executives have been making some calls to confirm commitments from Eaton to make sure we can turn the power on properly.
Which is probably necessary before we can open out there, I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, they're working on a contingency plan that we could actually power it up on the existing and then just be able to do a cut over put the new equipment in and cut it over, so.
And I assume we'll be scheduling some sort of ribbon cutting, you and communications.
Work with Jane and Julia, absolutely. We'll have to,
Yeah.
we'll probably have a couple, because a couple large buildings out there.
Right,
Yeah.
all right. Great. Vote, Sarah?
Vote on motion 23-195. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 23-196, in the matter of approving a contract between the Delaware County Commissioners and Universal Protection Service LLC, doing business as Allied Universal Security Services LLC, for uniformed armed security services.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
We received a total of 5 proposals based off our RFP for the Armed Security Services contract. A review committee reviewed these extensively, and we're recommending Allied Universal as the best proposal.
Okay, and this is for the Willis Building.
Yeah, this is
Hayes
for the
Building.
single-point entries for the courthouse, the Hayes Building, and we have a post up the Willis Building.
Okay. And it'll go into effect in,
The current contract expires April 30th, so with the transition period is just perfect. They'll be able to staff up, and we're looking at May 1st
okay.
transition.
I know that's an important
Mhm.
improvement in providing security services at those
Yep.
buildings, so.
We work
thanks.
closely with the sheriff's office. We had a representative from juvenile court and representative from the courts on the committee to review this. Yep. And as well as Deputy Minister Houston to assisted in this review process.
Yep. Okay, good to see. Vote, Sarah?
Vote on motion 23-196. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 23-197, and the matter of approving amendment number 3 to the services agreement between the Delaware County Commissioners and Zigzag Lawn Care for facilities turf mowing services.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
This is the final renewal option for our lawn mowing service for all the county facilities. Zigzag recommending renewing the contract. There's a 3% increase for this year. I find that in line, so.
Okay, vote?
Vote on motion 23-197. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye. While you're here, can you just give us an update on the Court Street property demolition? I know-
Yes,
I know we're getting close.
I had a pre-construction meeting with the project manager, an estimator on the project. They're trying to line up, starting the process with opening of the asphalt plants, and I know they were lining up a couple of their subcontractors for the retaining wall and stuff. Originally, they were supposed to mobilize this week, put up some temporary fencing. Haven't got confirmed date when they'll start, next week or two at the most. It won't take long, bring the house down. Be a lot of excavation, there's a lot of retaining wall work that has to go on. The larger part of that project, yes.
Parking will still be available west of the building here?
Yeah, they're currently, we're looking at just that row of parking on on the retaining wall next to the building, so the majority of that parking lot will still be available. There'll be some temporary closures of Court Street as they load out the material in particular, and probably try to maintain one lane on St. Patrick's for most of that. So again, actual demo would be about a day at the most. They don't take several days to load it out, so they'll get it down on the ground, and
Right, and we're adding 9 spaces.
we'll get a
as I
net
understand.
gain of 9 spaces there.
Okay. All right. Okay, very good. Thank you, John.
That brings us to item 11, resolution number 23-198, and the matter of approving the Title 4D contracts between the Delaware County Child Support Enforcement Agency and the Delaware County Prosecutor's Office, the Delaware County Domestic Court, and the Delaware County Sheriff's Office.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning, Sue Sowers with Child Support, and these are our annual contracts. No major changes this year. This is for the contracts we have with the prosecutor's office, for hours of the prosecutor and assistant prosecutor's time to work our criminal support cases, with the domestic court for the magistrate's time to work our civil cases, and then for our, with the sheriff's office for our dedicated deputy. So in order to get our 66% federal funding, we do have to have these 4D contracts in place. And no major changes this year. There's just a slight increase in all of them, basically due to payroll and payroll-related expenses, as far as those, you know, the annual increase.
Okay. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 23-198. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution number 23-199, and the matter of ranking for the best value of the 2 most qualified construction managers at risk for construction at the Alum Creek WRF Post-Treatment Improvements Project for Delaware County, Ohio.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Tiffany Mag, Director of Environmental Services. So we had 2 contractors shortlisted for this work. We interviewed both of those and selected Peterson as the best value to perform the work. This includes upgrades to our UV units out at Elm Creek, slide gates, water furnaces, and also decommissioning the filter building. The total cost is estimated to be $2.5 million, and it'll be performed between, I think, January of 2024 through the end of 2024 would be the actual construction phase of the work.
Okay. All right. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 23-199. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 23-200, and the matter of approving a work agreement with the Ravines at Meadow Ridge LLC and the Board of Delaware County Commissioners in conjunction with 2021 Sewer Rehabilitation Project.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
So this work was actually authorized to proceed in 2021, but the contractor lost their sub that was going to be performing the rehab on these 2 manholes. So the work agreement needed to be renewed, so we went ahead and got a new work agreement for the work to be performed this month on those 2 manholes.
Okay. All right. Vote.
Vote on motion 23-200. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 23-201, and the matter of approving a production agreement with Smart Bill Ltd. for quarterly printing, mailing, and providing digital images of sewer bills.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
So this gets us through the next 6 months of printing and mailing our sewer bills. The price is the same as it was for 2022, so we recommend your approval.
Okay. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 23-201. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 23-202, in the matter of approving modification number 1 to the engineering agreement with MS Consultants Incorporated for professional engineering services for the Berlin Business Park Pump Station and Force Main Project.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
This is for bidding, construction administration, as well as doing the record drawings at the completion of the project. And the cost for this work is just over $29,000, so that's just an as-authorized addition to the original scope and fee on the Berlin Business Park project.
Okay. How is that coming along?
So far, so good. We're still going to be waiting on the electrical switchgear as the long lead time item. That's anticipated to come towards the end of 2023. So I think the pump station is going to be pretty much finished by this summer, and then waiting on that item to come in, and as soon as it comes in, we'll be up and running.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 23-202. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Thanks.
Resolution number 23-203, in the matter of approving a supplemental appropriation for the Olentangy Crossing TIF Fund.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Rob Riley, Chief Deputy Engineer. Excuse me. Orange Township is requesting some reimbursement for curb repairs they're going to need to make on some of the streets surrounding the Olentangy Crossing area. This is the Kroger Marketplace on US 23. That is one of the eligible uses for the TIF fund, and so that's essentially what this supplemental appropriation involves.
Okay. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 23-203. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 23-204, in the matter of authorizing the purchase of equipment for the engineer's office.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
These items of equipment are in our budget, involve primarily trucks and snow plows and dump beds and bodies that attach to the trucks. But again, these are all within our budget.
Okay. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 23-204. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 23-205, in the matter of approving plan specifications, setting the bid date and time for 2023 asphalt supply materials.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Each year, we bid out a variety of different asphalt materials. These are things like hot mix asphalt we use for pavement repairs, but also the liquid asphalt emulsions that we use in chip sealing that our own crews use throughout the year. And so we'll go out to bid and see what our prices are this year and keep our fingers crossed.
I'm sure it'll be lower this year, right?
Let's hope so. I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah, yeah. All right, vote, please.
Vote on motion 23-205. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 23-206, in the matter of approving right-of-way work permit summary sheet.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Nothing out of the ordinary here, recommending approval.
Okay, vote.
Vote on motion 23-206. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
Resolution number 23-207, and the matter of approving an amendment to the Emergency Rental Assistance Program subrecipient agreement between the Board of Delaware County Commissioners and the United Way of Delaware County.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Justin Avi, Director of Finance. This is a request for a contract amendment with United Way, and it's for an advance of funds on the Emergency Rental Assistance Grant. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you have on this.
Okay. All right, no questions? We'll take a vote.
Vote on motion 23-207. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution number 23-208, and the matter of approving a permit for use of Delaware County facilities.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jane Hawes, Director of Communications. I have our annual request for the Vietnam War Veterans Day ceremony. It's going to be happening this year on Wednesday, March 29th at noon in front of the historic courthouse. It's organized by our Vietnam Veterans chapter here, so we recommend your approval.
Okay. Comments, questions? Okay, vote.
Vote on motion 23-208. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution number 23-209, and the matter of setting the date and time for and providing a notice of a public hearing to consider changing the name of Alpine Drive, a township road in the unincorporated area of Genoa Township, Delaware County, Ohio.
So moved.
Second, discussion. Any comments?
Commissioners, Tracy Davies, County Administrator, just that we received a request to change the name of this roadway. There are no addresses on the roadway, so we are just setting a public hearing to give notification.
Okay. All right, vote, please.
Vote on motion 23-209. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Yes, sorry.
We cannot start our hearing till 10 o'clock, so we can move on to administrative reports.
Administrative reports. Tracy, Don,
Yes.
Eric?
Just wanted to note that we had our DCFA monthly meeting last night. It was a good meeting. And that the TID meeting was rescheduled from this week, and we will be having it next week, I believe.
Do we have a date and time? Is it definitely,
I need to check with one more person before I
Okay.
commit.
we're thinking next Wednesday?
Next Wednesday, yes.
9:30.
Same time, yeah.
Okay. All right. Dawn?
I do have a couple things today.
Okay.
I heard yesterday from Sebco that our Garner utilization has been pretty good in January and February. Found out that there have been 136 claims that have been paid. for a total of $3,263 back to employees for going to see a doctor that is recommended by Garner. As you know, Garner is a company that provides information on physicians that have the best outcomes for our members. And so I think the utilization is promising for the first couple months, and hopefully we will continue to see increased utilization with this program that we are a pilot for with SEBCO. So I thought that was some good news to share, and hopefully with our Maximizing Your Health Benefits sessions, which we have 2 more today, employees will learn a little bit more about Garner and how they might be able to get money back for their out-of-pocket claims costs by visiting a Garner doctor.
Okay. Yeah, good. Yeah, SEBCO is experimenting. We've signed a contract with Garner to provide this service and reimburse employees for a portion of the cost, which is targeted to recover their deductible and ultimately save money by using the best, the most skilled providers. And there are 3 counties of the 45 or so counties in SEBCO that are the test cases, and we're one of those. And yeah, the meeting we had last Friday before at SEBCO, the results have been encouraging, in terms of sign up. I think we're at 17% of the people who are eligible to sign up have signed up, and the other counties are at 15 to 20, I think. So, and they seem pleased with that. Their target is to get 35% this year. So I would encourage everyone to sign up. No cost. You can get some reimbursement if you do. So anyway, that's SEBCO and Garner. Anything else, Dawn?
Nothing else, thank you.
Eric, anything? No? Okay. Commissioner Romero?
Just returned from the national meeting for AGRIP, which of course is part of, and meeting went well, and we're trying to determine what our rate structure is going to be. And we, at our meeting a couple weeks ago, we thought it was going to be a little higher as it turned out. I think due to some negotiations, we're going to have what I would consider fair and reasonable under the inflationary environment we find ourselves in. We'll know more next week after our board meeting, but based on what I was told a couple days ago, it looks promising. Again, it's relative, but with our increase in properties that we're going to be insuring and just the cost in general, I think we'll find it to be a reasonable number. I'm going to just say we have a land bank meeting this afternoon. Beat you to the punch since I get to go first there. And tonight, Township, I believe, is having their meeting, and I do plan on attending that. I believe it's in Orange Township.
Yep. I'll be going to that as well.
Turn it over to you.
Okay. Yeah, on the land bank today, there's some routine things in terms of paying invoices and so on, but the interesting and encouraging news is that the 7 properties that have been slated for demolition under the demolition grants that the land bank has received. I know of 2 of them, Spring Street properties here in the city of Delaware have been demolished, and the other properties are in the process and moving along. So it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do, and the land bank's playing a pivotal role in that. The Sunny V property is also has received a grant for brownfield remediation, and that process is moving along very nicely as well. So encouraging. The land bank's playing a good role in getting some of these blighted properties around the county dealt with. So it's good to see that. Went to the Lifelong Learning Institute meeting yesterday. Ruck Jones was the speaker. It was on Wesleyan's campus, and that's a really fun, interesting organization, nonprofit, but they provide learning episodes like college classes to the community for a small charge, and their expertise is presented by various teachers or professors or community members on various topics, and it's just really interesting. The program has really taken off. There's several hundred people that are participating in it now, so I would encourage you to look at the Lifelong Learning Institute's information and see if there's a topic you might be interested in attending a class We got a MORPSI retreat tomorrow, just kind of on the direction of MORPSI in terms of workforce and transportation initiatives. The Chamber State of the County is next Thursday, since we don't have a meeting this Monday. So I'll be presenting there, and it's always good turnout. It's good to, talk about what's going on in the county, because there's a lot going on. And then the last thing is the CCAO has a budget call every other Friday, and the last one we had, there are a couple topics that are in the proposed budget at the State House right now that are interesting. Well, actually, they're not just the budget, they're in other bills as well, but the force account is proposed to be changed. That's the engineer's office, engineer's office ability to do projects locally without contracting those out. And they're looking at increasing the scope of work that they can do and changing the approach, which I think would be encouraging, would be good. Secondly, the House Bill 1, which is the rollback of the property tax appraisal rate and reduction in the income tax. That one's going to be interesting to watch, because it's some major changes in property tax payments, and also a big cut
They
in
also presented at the board meeting for CCAO, and
some opposition, I assume.
even the authors of the bill admit that there's going to have to be changes. It is, I won't share my comments, but let's just say there's work to be done before that's a bill that would really
Yeah.
pass muster. It's a lot of challenges, and I think they're not real sure exactly.
Right.
You do something here, the impact it has here, and it's got work to be done. It's just,
Yeah, it does, but again, the mission is to reduce the income tax and somehow also reduce the property tax.
and unfortunately, taxes in other areas for real estate, property taxes would also change, so.
Yeah, so, I agree. And they would, I agree, everybody I'm hearing is they acknowledge that this is not the final bill by any means, but interesting to have the discussion.
Nobody wants this to be the final bill.
Right, right. We do have need for executive session. I don't know if it's
Do you want to do that first?
no, Eric, okay, we'll do the hearing first. So we've got
Recess for
2 minutes, 3 minutes. Jennifer, you got anything you want to say for 2 or 3 minutes?
No.
Anybody else want to tell any jokes or anything for 2 or 3 minutes while we wait for the hearing time?
Doug, do you want to give a speech or anything?
Yeah, Doug's speech? All right. All right, well, we'll just hang loose. We'll get started here in a couple of minutes. Oh, yeah.
The real estate's going to go, also the income statement, and the levies will be affected.
That's the thing.
So you have all the,
What were they thinking? They think they could cut the rollback payments to all the agencies?
this, Peterson was there, and I can't remember the guy, Mark and Mike, whatever his name was. There's a lot of questions. But even they admit in its current form. I wish we were proposing to
No,
go that or not.
when I heard that the rollback was going to be a rollback payment from the state to the agencies, I didn't know.
Every one of those agencies would have another levy. And, or at least they feel like they need to.
Right. Brett. How the Guardians coming along? Yeah. Till they play games at county.
Cousin's back down in Arizona.
Oh, is he?
So, yeah,
Doing some games?
Yeah, still waiting to see. They should be coming out with a list of the umpires that got hired to replace those that retired. Came out with the crew chief, like all the crew chiefs that retired.
Mhm.
I saw that on the list, but not who is getting.
Does he have a shot?
Oh, yeah, I'd say so, yeah.
It sounds like it, but he's been doing some games already as a substitute.
Julie is going to
Read the
read the
report.
report today, so I just want to let you know that. So.
All right. Chicken, you don't want to read the whole report? You don't want to read the whole report? We got to get a new legal opinion on that we have to read the whole report. I don't think it's going to work.
It ought to be read at least once. Otherwise,
I know. It's just boring. for us.
But you've heard it
I
before.
know, I know.
I guess the,
You ready?
You ready, Gary?
I'm involved in the election meeting tomorrow. I should have mentioned that, the state election committee. I got on that committee because of
CCAO.
something.
All right, you ready?
It's 10 o'clock. I'm ready.
Okay, sir.
All right.
Okay. All right, it is, it's still March 9th, 2023, as it was a few minutes ago. And we are going to now open the hearing for the, how do you say it, Vienna? Vienna? Vina, okay. Vina drainage improvement petition that was submitted a little while ago. And so anyway, what we'll do, well, first of all, I'll do introductions. I'm Jeff Benton, president of the board this year. To my left is Vice President Gary Merrill, fellow commissioner. Eric Hostetler, our counsel and deputy administrator. Clerk Sarah DeNova and Jennifer Walraven. And we have representatives from Soil and Water and the engineer's office here today as well. So anyway, I'll go through the process that we will do today. I want to welcome everyone to the first hearing. This is the first of potentially two hearings for the consideration of the Vino number 23 drainage improvement petition. There is a sign-up sheet circulating the room. We ask you please sign in. I'll go through what we'll do today. First, we'll hear a report from the county engineer and Soil and Water Conservation District. They will take questions from the board, and then we'll open it up for comments from those and first, for those speaking for or against the petition must either, let me just make sure it's clear, those speaking for or against the petition must either be an owner, as defined in section 613101 of the Ohio Revised Code, or an attorney speaking on behalf of an owner. Well, first we'll hear from all those landowners in favor of the petition, then we'll hear from all those landowners opposed to the petition. We will ask you to take an oath during testimony before you testify. We'll continue back and forth, and if new information comes up or additional people wish to speak, we'll take some more questions from the board. After listening to the testimony and the report of the engineer, the board will decide whether to grant the prayer petition or dismiss the petition. And here are the three things that the board considers in their decision. Number one, whether the board hereby finds that the proposed improvement is necessary. Number two, that it will be conducive to the public welfare. Number three, the board also finds that it's reasonably certain that the cost of the proposed improvement will be less than the benefit. If the board grants the prayer or petition, the Delaware County engineer will proceed with preparation of plans, reports, and individual schedules of assessments for the project. When plans are complete, a final hearing will be set, notification of the hearing will be given to landowners, and the board will consider the project. So that's the process we'll go through today, and we'll kick it off with, I'm sorry.
Do you have a motion to?
Open it.
Oh, we haven't opened yet, technically. Okay, let's open the hearing.
Resolution number 23-210, public hearing for consideration of the VNOT number 23 watershed drainage improvement petition filed by Ma'a Negra LLC.
So moved.
Second, discussion. The comments I just went through apply to this hearing that we are now opening. So, vote, please.
Vote on motion 23-210. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
All right, now we are officially in the hearing, and as I mentioned, the first thing we'll do is have the report read from the engineer in Soil and Water.
Good morning, Julie Watson-Ables, Delaware Soil and Water. First hearing report for VNOT number 23, drainage petition per ORC 6131, March 9th, 2023. This report has been prepared for the preliminary hearing on a drainage improvement petition filed by Ma Negra LLC on September 18th, 2022, and amended by Tim A. Miller on December 28th, 2022. The amendment was approved by the Commissioners on January 12th, 2023. The general location and course of the requested improvements is quoted from the petition as follows. In Delaware County, Radnor, and Delaware Township, within the VNOT 23 watershed and generally following but not limited to the course and termini of the existing improvements. The following is the nature of the work petitioned as quoted from the petition. to generally improve the drainage, both surface and subsurface, to a good and sufficient outlet by replacing, repairing, or altering the existing improvements as required and/or creating new surface and subsurface drainage mains or laterals as requested by this petition. Petition process. This petition has been submitted according to Section 6131 of the Ohio Revised Code, ORC, which authorizes the Board of Commissioners to act on behalf of benefited property owners to make drainage improvements. If the Board of Commissioners decides to proceed with a project, the costs related to the improvements and the development of plans, report, and schedules are assessed to the landowners in the watershed according to the benefit received to their watershed acreage. These special assessments will be added to the property taxes for each property and can be spread over a maximum of an 8-year period. Property owners may also choose to pay their assessment in a lump sum payment prior to placement on their property taxes. Additionally, the improvements will be placed on the Delaware County Drainage Maintenance Program in perpetuity per ORC Section 6137, and the annual maintenance assessment will appear on property tax statements as a special assessment in the same manner as the construction assessments. These annual maintenance assessments are generally in the range of 2 to 3% of the construction assessment. It should be noted that property owners are only assessed for those improvements that are located downstream from their properties. No property is assessed for improvements located upstream. Public agencies that own rights-of-way for public roads would also be assessed for both construction and maintenance costs in the same manner as private property owners. The decision to approve a petition project is a 3-step process. First, a viewing of the proposed improvement is conducted for the commissioners to familiarize themselves with the watershed and general conditions. The commissioners conducted the viewing for this project by drone video on December 19th, 2022. Next, a preliminary hearing is held to consider the initial feasibility of the proposal. It is this preliminary first hearing that is before us today. If this petition is approved, a final hearing will be conducted to further consider this petition. At that time, final details such as engineering plans and specifications, cost estimates, and a proposed schedule of assessments will be known. Existing conditions. The Delaware Soil and Water Conservation District and Delaware County Engineers Office have made the following observations using on-site evaluation and a review of available aerial photography, topographic mapping, and soils mapping. The VNOT watershed, as defined for this hearing, measures 349 acres. Approximately 282 acres, or 81% of the watershed, is agricultural use. Wooded acres comprise about 23 acres, or 6.5% of the area. 5.6% of the land is residential. 5.6% of the land is residential use. 3.6% is road right-of-way, and 3.5% is industrial and railroad use. The VNOT drainage system was originally constructed in 1873 and revisited in 1891, 1904, and 1947. These improvements were all constructed using the ORC 6131 drainage petition process. The drainage system does not appear to be functioning at or near optimum capacity due to a lack of comprehensive maintenance and the generally deteriorated condition of the infrastructure. The absence of uniform surface grading has resulted in areas of surface ponding. Sporadic blowouts along the course of the existing subsurface drain were also observed. These blowouts are a result of an aged and overburdened subsurface drainage system. While some outlets for the various subsurface drainage systems appear to be unobstructed, the downstream channel has evidence of being affected by log jams and debris accumulation, and some evidence of siltation is present in the upstream portion of the channel. While the existing drainage system still provides some degree of drainage benefit, it does not appear to function as a good and sufficient outlet. Construction estimate. Items of work would include the following basic elements: open channel restoration and log jam removal, surface drain shaping and grading, seeding and mulching of disturbed areas, and subsurface drain installation ranging in size of approximately 12 to 24 inches in diameter. Construction estimate $278,054. Administration, engineering, and inspection $25,000. Drainage maintenance, ORC 6137, first year startup is 5% of the construction estimate at $13,902.70, bringing the total project estimate to $316,956.70. Notes: it is important to understand that the above estimates are preliminary and made in the absence of a current detailed topographic survey of the project area. The above estimate assumes complete replacement of the subsurface drainage. Should the project proceed beyond this first hearing, the capacity and condition of the existing tile will be evaluated according to the applicable engineering standards. Any reach of the project that meets these standards in its current condition may be considered for inclusion onto the drainage maintenance program without requiring improvement. Should the project fail to be approved at the final hearing, the benefiting landowners, as defined by ORC 6131, may still be responsible for the cost of project administration, survey, and engineering design. Assessments. If the project moves forward to the second hearing, the Ohio Revised Code instructs the county engineer to calculate the assessments to individual property owners based on the benefits received from the improvements for the various properties in the watershed. ORC 6131 states that uplands that have been removed from their natural state by deforestation, cultivation, artificial drainage, urban development, or other man-made causes shall be considered as benefited by an improvement required to dispose of the accelerated flow of water from the uplands. Benefits are further defined as elimination or reduction of damage from flood, removal of water conditions that jeopardize public health, safety, or welfare, increased value of land resulting from the improvement. Individual parcel assessments are not calculated for the preliminary hearing and are only calculated if the petition moves forward to a second or final hearing. Factors favorable, unfavorable. ORC 6131 requires the county engineer to state in a report factors favorable and unfavorable to a proposed project, estimate the cost of the project, and state an opinion as to whether the benefits of the project exceed the costs. The following information is presented for your consideration. Factors favorable to the improvement. 1. Improved surface and subsurface drainage in the watershed. 2. Improved outlet for subsurface drainage components of household sewage treatment systems and for residential drainage systems. 3. Reduction of future deterioration of surface and subsurface drainage infrastructure. 4. Annual inspections and maintenance of the improvement in perpetuity. Factors unfavorable to the improvement. 1. Temporary land use disruption during construction. 2. Cost of construction and maintenance may be a burden to some landowners. 3. Removal of existing trees and brush in improvement area. Benefits versus cost. Assessments for property within the watershed are calculated based on the benefits derived. A publication by the Ohio State University Extension titled Returns to Farm Drainage details several studies conducted by Ohio State researchers on the effects of drainage on crop yields. The studies show that fields with good drainage will produce higher yields than fields that have poor drainage. A recently completed 25-year study showed that subsurface drainage increased corn yields by 24% to 39% and increased soybean yields by 13% to 46%. The same study also analyzed the return on investment for installing subsurface drainage in a field and found that for corn, $4 is returned for every $1 invested, and for soybeans, $3 is returned for every $1 invested. To state it generally, the benefits of drainage will equal the increased yield multiplied by the market price. The increased value or benefit for residential properties is much more subjective and difficult to quantify. For residential properties, the lack of an adequate drainage outlet can dramatically deteriorate the condition of household sewage treatment systems, potentially limiting the value of the home for resale. Should the existing system fail, the cost to perform repairs or construct an alternate sewage treatment system can range from the thousands to tens of thousands of dollars. It would also be reasonable to consider the cost of environmental degradation due to residential sewage treatment systems that may not be functioning properly. Other benefits that are commonly perceived as a result of drainage improvements focus on quality of life and positive neighborhood perception. Communities that have planned and maintained stormwater drainage infrastructures generally have higher resale values than those communities that are known to have a history of drainage problems or flooding. Conclusions. Based on all of the information gathered and generated for this project, I believe this project is technically feasible and would adequately serve the project area's drainage needs. However, the testimony brought to the board by the landowners as to whether the benefits of this project exceed the costs should be given significant consideration in the decision to move forward with this project. Should the current petition be approved to proceed to a final hearing, the petition bond will be returned and detailed plans, specifications, estimated costs, and a schedule of assessments would be prepared. Additionally, a benefit versus cost analysis will also be performed to further determine the feasibility of advancing this proposed project.
All right. Thank you. Okay, now we'll, comments, questions?
Have no questions at this point.
I just had a couple questions. I don't know who wants to answer, Julie or Brett. The cost estimate does not have a contingency, is that correct, built in? We've seen that presented in other reports.
Yes, that cost estimate would not include, I'm sorry, Brett Bacon, Deputy Administrator, Delaware Soil and Water Conservation District. The cost estimate as presented in this first hearing report does not contain a contingency amount. The necessary contingency is evaluated as part of the survey and engineering design phase of a project and would typically range in the 15 to 20% of the estimate.
Okay, and also you're assuming complete replacement of the subsurface?
Yes, at the
tiles.
first hearing, I think we have to assume complete replacement of the subsurface drain. There is evidence that it is failing in places, and so you have to come into a first hearing and assume worst-case scenario. We would evaluate that, and if there are reaches of the subsurface drain that are in good condition, adequate capacity, the depth and grade and line of those are in line with what's necessary to meet the request of the petition, we would consider accepting them as is.
Right, okay. Okay. Any other questions? I think we're ready to move forward then. So next, we will hear from petitioners, or those who are speaking for or against the petition. Again, they must be an owner or an attorney of the owner to be able to speak, to be eligible to speak. So we're going to start with hearing from all those landowners in favor of the petition. You don't have to testify, but we do want to open it up to those who do wish to testify. And right now, again, we're interested in people who want to testify in favor of the petition. So, again, you don't have to, but anybody? Okay.
It'd be helpful if they could identify the lot that they.
Yes, if you could define the lot and your address, and state name, address, and lot number, if you could, please.
Sure. My name is Kevin Kirshner. I'm with Kimley Horn, representing a property owner this evening who could not make the hearing. The property is 3286 Butney Station Road, Jeff and Lori Leonard. First of all, I'd like to state that we are not against the petition.
Okay, well, before you get going, I need to swear you in.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, and if you could identify the lot on the map, I don't know if you know which one it is
I
exactly.
believe it is lot 1.
Lot number 1,
The map
okay.
that I'm currently looking at.
Okay, all right, continue.
The lot that the Leonards own is at the upper watershed, upper end, at the beginning of the watershed of the ditch petition as it's shown on the map. Again, we are in support of the petition. I've been doing drainage work in Delaware County for over 30 years. I've sat on the drainage board. I strongly support the ditch petition process.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing we'd like to state this morning is to, if this petition were to move forward, we would like cooperation with county staff to confirm that this property is truly in the watershed. We don't feel that it is. We feel that it drains to a different roadside ditch as opposed to the ditch that's a part of the petition. So we just want to make sure that if it goes to the engineering phase, the county would invite us to help evaluate the watershed at that point.
Okay.
And understanding that it's high-level topo, best available data at this point. So that's what we.
So you're not speaking for or against, you just wanted confirmation that you are not in the watershed, basically, is it?
That's correct.
Yes.
And that would be something that Soil and Water will, when they survey, will confirm, is that correct, Brett?
Yeah, we've seen that in prior petitions where the parcels get added or subtracted occasionally. They may get changed, bigger portions of parcels, that sort of thing.
Sure.
So that is part of the process, so.
Okay, thank you.
Good, all right, thank you. Yeah, Brett, comment?
Yeah, at this stage of a petition project, we don't have permission or authorization from the board to do extensive survey and on-site evaluation. So the watershed for a first hearing is drawn using remote sensing data and computer programs. There's been no survey or ground truthing of the watershed. That comes as part of engineering design, and we always evaluate that as part of our process of preparing the engineering plan. So that is a normal and expected part of the process.
Okay, very good, appreciate that. Okay, others wish, again, to speak in favor? Okay.
Tim Miller.
Tim Miller?
Yeah, you gotta swear me in.
All right, and which lot number are you, can you tell?
Next to Stone Rock, it'll be around, should be 22.
22, okay. All right, let me swear you in.
He's lot 3.
Lot 3?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, okay, you got one of the big farm parcels then.
Yeah, I read it wrong.
Okay, so number 3. All right, let me swear you in. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, proceed.
My biggest concern is the open part of that ditch onto the east,
On your property or to the east of
to
your
the
property?
east of it,
Okay.
on down the line.
Okay,
I guess be downstream, should be.
I presume it goes west to east?
Yeah, feeds to the east, heads to the river. But I have done some work on that tile on downstream, and I've unplugged a few spots, being another farmer. But I mean, you get into the open part of it, it's just, I think Ralph Stone Rock stated in the first meeting, the last one was 1947. That's 76 years. Nobody's done any maintenance, or it's been neglected, and this is where we're at. I mean, but if you look it down through the line, and my original great-grandfather, John Miller, he was on the original petitions of that. So was my grandfather, so. I don't know, I am for it. I mean, it does need attention. It is what, I mean, it comes with owning land, so.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
That's all, pretty much what I got to add to it.
Okay,
I mean,
okay, very good, thank you. Okay. Okay, we'll continue. Others who wish to speak in favor of the petition? All right, last chance, last call. Anybody else who wants to speak in favor of the petition? All right, we will now move on to those who wish to speak in opposition to the petition. So if you would go through the same process, come to the microphone. Again, you don't have to speak, but come to the microphone and I'll swear you in and you can testify. Everybody's shy today, or
Maybe it's an opposition.
or just nobody else is in opposition, so, okay. We will, again, last call, last chance. Anybody who wishes to speak in opposition to the petition, please approach the podium. All right. We will move on. Any other questions from the board?
I have no questions, and Brett, I don't think you have anything you need to add or want to add. If not, I would suppose we close the hearing.
Okay. Sarah, you could please read that resolution, please?
Resolution number 23-211, in the matter of closing the public hearing for consideration of the VNOT number 23 water drainage improvement petition filed by Ma'a Negra LLC.
So moved.
Second. Any further discussion? Vote, please.
Vote on motion 23-211. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye. My comments are, I've heard nothing here today that would suggest to me that we should not move forward to the second hearing. I would say, Mr. Miller, that the purpose of this, if this is ultimately approved, there will be a maintenance program, and that would not be an issue going forward. And I do believe it, from what I heard today, and there was no opposition, it is necessary. It does address the public welfare and good, and benefits, I believe, will exceed the cost as represented by Soil and Water and the engineer's office. So I would support the hearing going to the second hearing.
Yeah, I would echo those thoughts. Again, this area does need attention. This watershed does need attention, and this process is designed to take care of that. Our Soil and Water team and the engineers team do an outstanding job of maintaining. We have 600 and some ditches. How much? 608? 608 of these maintenance programs in place now, and they do an outstanding job. So again, I agree with Commissioner Merrill. I think it meets the three requirements, and therefore I would ask the clerk to read the resolution.
I just add this, to reassure the watershed it'll be confirmed that that is in fact in the watershed. That would apply to all the properties, in fact.
Sure.
So.
Yep. Okay.
Right, resolution number 23-212, in the matter of proceeding with the project survey and design for the VNOT number 23 watershed drainage improvement petition filed by Ma'a Negra LLC.
So moved.
Second. Any further discussion? All right, vote, please.
Vote on motion 23-212. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye. All right, this hearing is closed. We are moving to the second hearing in that petition, and so we're still in session though, right?
We are.
Okay, and now we need to go into executive session.
We do.
All right. Sarah, if you could read the motion to go into executive session, please.
Resolution number 23-213, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of confidential information related to economic development.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 23-213. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye. All right, we're